Welcome to episode 24 of the Lightning Round. I'm your host, Lightning. Rash couldn't join me today.
He died.
Yeah, he died. No, he didn't. But instead, we've got AR here as my co-host this week.
Hello.
And as always, the Lightning Round is sponsored by Welcome to Ponyville and Philly Games. So definitely go and check out their website.
And Hay Fries, made by Cabbage Corp.
At www.phillygames.com.
Yes.
Just one quick announcement that we've got before we start off this week is that for the second act of Welcome to Ponyville, Queen Chrysalis has been confirmed as a villain in the game. Whether she'll appear in the second act or not is yet to be seen, but we do know that Queen Chrysalis will be in Welcome to Ponyville at some point in time.
It'll be like a cameo or something of her just in a bar in the background, and that's the only time she comes in, I bet.
I seriously doubt it.
I'm being a bit sarcastic.
They're gonna have her as a main villain, I'm sure.
Yeah. I need to go put wax in the back of my mouth later tonight. Anywho.
So, why don't we head into our episode review for this week? This week we episode 3 of season 3, Too Many Pinkie Pies.
Yes. Too Many Pinkie Pies. Oh, what a glorious episode I thought it was. So we start from the beginning?
Yeah, let's start from the beginning. I have to say that the very beginning of this reminded me a lot of Ghostbusters. The beginning of it. Because when you think about it, at the very beginning of that episode, they're going through the, was it 1525?
Twilight, you could do another magic sort of spell-like thing.
Right, yeah, exactly. And Spike even says, like, the same exact line, like, come on, Twilight, you can do it.
Yeah.
And what exactly is Twilight trying to do? Well, she's trying to turn an apple into an orange.
Jimmy Neutron did that, I think.
She's just tired of comparing apples to oranges, so she's just gonna make all apples oranges and make it.
She's just mad at Applejack right now, so she's taking her vengeance out on her.
I could see her using this spell that just change all the apples and Scoot Appleacres into oranges and just.
April Fool's, Applejack. My apples. Anyway, ow.
That's how you change Applejack into Orange Jack. But, unfortunately, she's not able to cast the spell completely, because as she is casting it, she gets tackled and hugged by Pinkie Pie.
Death hugs.
And, it throws off her aim a little bit, and she ends up hitting a bird.
A bird.
Which I thought was kind of funny, because it turned the blue jay into an orange jay.
I see what you did there. So, yes, Pinkie has just hugged Twilight, and she says, I love giving hugs, and she wants to know what fun thing Twilight's doing, because she always wants to do something fun.
I believe what she said.
Wait, what now?
Hugs are funerific, is what I believe she says.
Yep, and she wrapped her arms around herself.
Yeah.
Yay, hugs. So she wants to know what Twilight's doing, and Twilight said she was trying to make an apple into an orange, and then turns the blue jay into an orange, sort of thing happens. Then Rarity comes up, and Rarity is wearing a dark cape robe as if she's selling drugs.
Oh.
Yes. So she comes up, and she takes off the robe. How dare she? No, don't worry, she's wearing clothes. And it looks very nice, actually. She's wearing some sort of, I believe it was like French-esque like clothing she just made, and she had super fun making it, she says, or something along those lines, having fun. And Pinkie's all, you had fun without me? Along those lines again.
Of course,
exactly.
That main style is amazing.
Yes, it is. So Pinkie's upset that she couldn't have fun with Rarity. So she gets the idea, I'll be right back, and then she flies off and goes to find Rainbow Dash. She wants to have more fun with her other friends, see what else they're all doing. And so she finds Rainbow Dash being up a cloud that's fallen to the ground, turning into fog, and...
That part was really funny to me, because that's not how clouds work at all.
Yes, it is.
And I just thought it was really funny that they just said, oh yeah, the cloud just got too heavy and became fog instead, so...
Pony logic. Don't argue with it, just agree with it.
Beating it with her tail is pretty funny in itself.
I would beat clouds with my tail, just because I could. So, let's let's see. Yes, they talk, and she was asking what she was doing, and like Rainbow Dash mentioned, clouds in the fog. He's like, "Oh, fun, let me help." And she spins around the cloud super fast. Cloud flies up into the air, becoming lighter because she took away some of the density of it, or some physicsness that I cannot explain because ponies are involved with it, and you cannot have ponies and physics in the same topical category.
Well,
Topical,
especially not Pinkie Pie. Pinkie Pie breaks physics.
That too. You have ponies, Pinkie Pie, and clouds, and no, not clouds, physics, and you cannot have those all in the same topicalness. Topical is now a new word that I've made up, just like lamb children, and whatever the other one was. So, let's see. What was it? Yes, she runs off again, and she goes to find some other one of her friend, and she finds Applejack pulling a cart of apples with Apple Bloom inside. She hops onto the cart and says, "Whee!" which I found kind of humorous.
Well, I thought it was weird, because I don't think AJ or Applebloom say anything at all. She just kind of jumps on the cart, and they just kind of look at her.
The cart says, "Whee! Next time I'll pull you," and runs off to go find Fluttershy. Applejack's like, "Okay." And so she finds Fluttershy.
Drinking tea. She's drinking tea with.
She's drinking wine with her pet. Sorry, not wine. Silly me. She's drinking tea with her pet angel, Bunny Angel. Well, he's actually a demon bunny named Angel, but that's aside the point.
I wouldn't want to see Fluttershy drunk. Actually, that wouldn't be good at all.
Wine doesn't make you drunk. Lots of wine makes you drunk.
Well, if she drank lots of wine, then she would get drunk.
Yes, that's why you drink 1 glass of wine a day. It's healthy, supposedly. Actually, it's been proven it's healthy. Anyway, so Piggy asks what's Fluttershy doing fun. She's like, nothing, pretty much. And Piggy's like, yes, and falls on her back and says, yay. Then we have this beautiful opening theme come up, which is reminiscent of Season 2, exactly. They didn't change it all. I hope they did, but they didn't.
Well, maybe they will. I kind of doubt that if they haven't changed it yet by Episode 3, then I kind of doubt that they're going to, but I would hope they changed it for Season 3. But we'll see, I guess.
Indeed, there has been decreed a Season 4. Let's see here. Back my tooth is bugging me right now. Back my braces. Let's see. What happened next? I'm trying to remember.
Well, as soon as it comes back, they go back to Pinkie Pie, and that's when she's being encompassed by butterflies. Apparently, Fluttershy let her
Eat her.
Lay in her butterflies. I'm not sure how that works, but yeah, it was kind of weird.
Yeah, she was surrounded by Fluttershy, and she's like, "Thanks for letting your butterfly friends help me, Fluttershy, and to help me get back my pinky strength."
Yeah.
Which I found interesting. She said pinky strength. I like what she does next, though. Is she stands up on the bench and then leans back and has her head hanging over the back of the bench, which I found kind of interesting.
Apparently she doesn't have a spine, because that wouldn't work very well with a spine.
Well, considering what Pinkie does, it makes sense that she doesn't have a spine. I'm pretty sure most of her structure inside of her body is pretty much made up of candy or some type of bubble.
Yeah, she probably doesn't have bones. That's a good.
Considering what she does, otherwise she'd have a lot of broken bones.
Yeah.
By now. Like it'd be interesting if she actually did have bones and the creators had that, because like at the end of every episode, she would just be in a full body cast or something like that.
So that's when AJ and Rainbow Dash both show up at the same time. Both saying that they have fun things to do. Rainbow Dash is going to finish her weather patrol for the day and then go and hang out by the
hole?
Yeah,
no. It's not a watering hole. I'm pretty sure it's just a pond or lake.
Yeah, just some kind of pond or whatever. And she was going to go and hang out there. And AJ, at the same time, says that she's going to be raising a barn.
A barn is.
Huh?
Because we all know how fun raising a barn is.
Oh yeah, absolutely, funerific. Anyway, so Pinkie Pie decides that she wants to go to both, but has no idea how she's going to do it.
Just go ahead and choose whichever one you want. We're fine with either answer you give. She's like, choose!
Yeah.
Yes, Pinkie. Life has choices.
And so she goes and bugs Twilight again. And again, of course, messes up her spell. and decides to, which consequently turns a frog into an orange this time.
Uh-huh.
And the only
First,
thing Twilight says is that there's the only way that this is going to work is if there's more of her to go around. That, of course, gives Pinky an idea, and she turns into an alarm clock.
Oh, yeah, it's funny. That's my own little ringer I have for me.
Nice. But she just mentions this legend of the mirror pool. I'm not sure where she heard this legend before. Twilight even says she's never even heard of it.
Uh-huh.
And it's, no background is given about where Pinky heard about this. She just
heard it from her nanny, Grandma Pink.
Okay, so Granny probably told her how to laugh her fears away and about this legend, apparently.
Yep. So it makes you wonder, who is this Granny Pie, and will we ever meet her? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Anyway.
So she goes into the Everfree Forest. I would assume it's the Everfree Forest. It kind of looks like
it. It probably is, considering there's fog, dead branches trying to eat her. Yeah, it's probably the Everfree Forest.
And she goes through the brambles and falls into a hole.
Woo!
Which leads her to this
mirror pool, which she instantly presumes it's a mirror pool.
Right, exactly. And
it was
let's see here. She apparently all she has to do is this chant, and another one of her appears.
Yeah, will come out of the water.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting first because I could not tell right when she was coming out of the water and saying the chant. I couldn't tell which Pinky was which Pinky at first.
The Pinkies have been doubled.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the one thing I found weird about the clones themselves is that when they come out, they don't seem to be like normal. I'm not exactly sure what word to use for it, but they're kind of even more hyper than Pinky should be.
Yeah, they like screaming fun. They think it's
fun.
Which is probably what a bunch of AR clones would do, but anyway, that's aside the point.
So, she brings this clone of herself out of the forest and say, okay, you go to AJ's place, I'm going to go and hang out with Rainbow Dash, and she says, make sure you come back here when you're done.
And tell me all about it.
You can tell me all about it. And what I thought was really interesting was the fact that right before they left, in the parting ways, she says, I'm going to go double my fun. And it just reminded me of those Doublemint commercials.
Huh.
I mean, you've heard those commercials, right? The Doublemint gum commercials?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it made me think of when I saw that.
That or Hubba Bubba Max. Hubba Bubba Max.
So it follows this clone of Pinkie Pie. She's on her way to Applejack.
No, it goes to Rainbow Dash first.
Right. Okay, Rainbow Dash first.
Yes.
And
which she does.
Yeah, and she kind of hangs out there.
Uh-huh.
And it's funny because Rainbow Dash, there's a little bit of continuity here because she's reading Dare and Do again. They actually have a still shot of it up on EQD, and you can tell that it's Dare and Do in the Quest for the Sapphire Stone.
Yep, she's reading that story.
So she's reading the first one again. I'm not sure how many times she's already read it, but yeah, apparently she likes it enough where she can read it over and over and over and over again.
And over.
Yes.
I have a book like that which I want to get started reading again. It's a very good book.
So, Rainbow Dash actually mentions that she's a little bit tired for the day after she was done working. And
yeah, which makes me think, how much work is it to really move clowns around? I don't know.
Well,
I can.
how many clouds exactly does she have to move? And it looked like she was beating up that cloud pretty hard. So
Yeah, but then again, she's just flying around all day too. Then again, wing muscles are supposedly stronger. Anyway, that's all. More physics and ponies don't mix. Moving on.
So what I love what Pinkie Pie does, and she does her crazy slow dive, which I'm like,
That was yeah.
My first thought was like, I don't know. It was really weird. Dash
It was
shot
funny.
the entire thing, and
Fun, quietly.
the fact that Dash questioned it was kind of interesting. It's like, you know, she should be used to it by then, you know. And she kind of does shrug it off. She's like, "How did you do that?" And then, you know, I can't remember what Pinkie Pie said to that, but
Just trying to blah.
yeah, we can be considered from
Anyway, just a little bit ahead, just a little bit, but it's basically the fact that the second Pinkie Pie is unable to go to Applejack's. Reason being, Fluttershy pulled a berry off of a tree. That's not the exact reason, but Fluttershy sees Pinkie Pie walking along the forest path and says, Pinkie, come over here. No, not whispering. So she gets Pinkie's attention and says, you should join us for the sea party because it'll be super fun. I couldn't resist having fun today because who can't?
Bear is there.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, the poor bear.
Killed, apparently.
Bear's still alive.
He's still alive.
For now. So, she gets Pinkie Pie's attention, and Pinkie Pie eats she eats the cheese that the rat hands to her. I would prefer the rat, like that little animated video I saw.
I saw the animation.
That was funny. So you should put that in there right now. Put it right there. Anyway, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Yes, something. No, Fluttershy gets Pinkie's attention in the tea party thing. She's like, but I can't go because Applejohn is having barn raising and fun and stuff. And who's Applejohn?
Johnny Appleseed?
Exactly. So Pinkie, clone Pinkie, is like, too many choices, can't breathe, walls closing in. But what walls? We're outside, Fluttershy says. Pinkie Pie then runs away to find the other Pinkie Pie. Meanwhile, back with Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash, you had a little incident of her having fun quietly. And other Pinkie Pie gets Pinkie Pie's attention. So Pinkie Pie's like, oh, looks like I'm trying to get my attention. And Pinkie Pie's like, excuse me. And the other Pinkie Pie's like, me too. And Rainbow Dash is like, okay.
Yeah, Rainbow Dash just kind of shrugs it off. It's like, she's got to be used to all these crazy things that Pinkie Pie comes up with, and so she kind of just shrugs it off and goes back to sleeping and tanning herself with the.
She goes napping.
At least this time, the ponies are trying to tan themselves in the sun and not underneath a tree.
Yeah, which makes me think why that pony didn't just move over 3 inches.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Pinkie Pie was there to help her out.
I know, right? And then she had to get off the tree and the tree moved back. So, let's see. You have Pinkie Pie talking to Pinkie Pie. So Clone Pinkie Pie is trying to tell Pinkie Pie something. When Pinkie Pie says, oh, how was it? Did you raise the bar fast or slow? Or was it medium fast? And Pinkie Pie's like, or Clone Pinkie Pie that is. So, after Clone Pinkie Pie screams and says, I didn't make it to Applejack's. Yeah, her. Because, Fluttershy, yes, her. Invited me to a cute little tea party. And it was a picnic with cute little animals. How could you say no to that? Exactly. So I didn't go, and I didn't have any fun at all. I loved her expression there.
Yeah. And so
then,
Pinkie Pie's solution to this entire problem is, let's go make more Pinkie Pies.
Genius.
And
which makes me wonder, why did she just go by herself? Because what she could have done, she could have cloned Pinkie Pie, go back to Applejack's, go get one of the Pinkie Pie by herself, and do the exact same thing, send out Pinkie Pie to Fluttershy. Just a bit of logic. So
they do finally get back to the mirror pool again.
Oh.
So one more time, and so now there's 4 of them. Okay, the real Pinkie Pie goes off and says, "Okay, let's go back to Ponyville," while the other ones stand by the pool again and clone themselves again. Now we got 7, and before she's able to do anything again, the other 6 of them go and clone themselves yet again. So what we got now is 13 Pinkie Pies.
Yay!
And then they finally all leave to go into.
If there was one more.
Huh?
I think the universe would have exploded if there was one more Pinkie Pie. That's why there's a limit to how many there were.
And the worst part about it is that now there's so many of them that it's a nuisance. Like, they go and hang out with Rainbow Dash, and Rainbow Dash just barricades herself in her, like, lawn chair, like, in her umbrella. And she just says, I can't take it anymore. And
I can't take it! Shelter me, umbrella! And plops down to her base of security and solitude. And takes a nap.
And so Pinkie Pie goes to see what Applejack is up to then. And the funny thing is that Applejack is doing this barn raising, and it's not just her and Big Mac, like you would expect. She's got 2 other ponies with her.
Family.
I think one of them is Apple Fritter, and she's been in a lot of episodes recently. I mean, she,
2 others.
huh?
By a lot, you mean 2 others.
Well, no, like recently, because she was in the Royal Candlelight Wedding as well.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Sorry, I had my tongue in the back of my mouth because it was
And
touching.
there's a new pony there. It's a colt, and I'm not exactly sure if we've ever seen this one before. He's got a guitar cutie mark.
Oh, him, yeah, he was in the Putting Your Hoof Down episode. He was the one yelled at by Iron Will.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was, wasn't he? That's cool.
It was Mando Pony.
I know that. Yeah, Mando Pony. I know that Equestria Daily called him Johnny Cash.
Oh dear Lord.
But yeah, I'm not so sure about that. But anyway, new ponies, yay!
Uh-huh.
So, Pinkie Pie, or the clones of Pinkie Pie show up and completely destroy everything. The barn gets torn down. They have like a silo right next to it that also gets torn down because all the Pinkies start jumping all over it.
And they all start screaming, fun, 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 and so on.
They're all shouting fun.
Yeah,
And
fun.
AJ gets mad because like they start running away and she's like, "Get back here and clean up after yourself."
Dang it. Dang it, Bob. Anyways. Yeah, so this happens. Other Pinkie Pie runs away with them as well, and then she hides behind a barrel and starts talking to herself again, which she slightly has a bit of a problem with talking to herself because she's been doing that a lot lately, but she'll get over it eventually. So, she's a bit concerned of what the heck she's gonna do now because she's unable to talk with her friends and have a good time with them and have fun with them, so she's concerned about her friends mostly. So what happens is that the next scene comes up and is that a crap ton of ponies, which I'm pretty sure is the entire population of Ponyville surrounded by Twilight's treehouse.
Yeah, the Pinkies have apparently now been considered a town emergency.
Yeah, and actually I've noticed, why wasn't the mayor there?
I don't know, apparently they aren't going to go to the mayor for help. They're going to go to Twilight.
Yep, they're going to go to the purple unicorn that lives in a tree. So they go to Twilight and said, we need to find out what is the rehab, blah, blah, pig.
If I'm not mistaken,
Derpy
in the scene.
Yes, Derpy's in the scene.
It's like the top of her head, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think it counts.
I think it does count because no other pony in the series has had hair like Derpy or the body color of Derpy in the exact same pattern. So I think it was the top of her head.
Right, but I mean, you didn't get to see her eyes or anything like that. So it would have been better if they had actually had her full body in the picture.
She's incognito right now. She's on a special case of her own. That's what the whole backstory is of this new season. Derpy's on a separate mission case, which is why she isn't seen in the background. She's doing some dangerous work, and and she's barely in town anymore.
We better see her in more of the scenes, though.
So, this sounds like a threat right there. We better see her in more of the scenes.
Oh, it is. It is a threat. I will write an angry letter.
Go ahead. Oh.
Anyway.
So all of them were wondering, how are we going to tell the real Pinkie Pie from these clone Pinkie Pies, and how are we going to get rid of them? So Twilight runs back inside of her treehouse, starts searching through books. What was that legend called? That's what she's wondering. So she's going through these books. Spike is looking as well. Spike ends up looking in one of the, what are those things called? Like a little cabinet, not a cabinet, a little shelf. Shelf! That's what they're called. They're called shelves. He looks in one of the shelves, sees a horseshoe not stapled, but on the back wall. Pushes the horseshoe in, and a book is behind it. Now then, stopping right here.
Thank you, secret plot device.
Exactly. I want to know, what relevance is that right there? You have to have a reason for that being there. Either this will be explaining the overall story arc of season 3, which I'm hoping it has an overall story arc, and that will be explained at some point, or they just want to make something fancy.
It's just a plot device. That's all it is. There's really no significance to it, and the fact that they haven't found that secret compartment before it baffles me with all the reshelving that she does all the time. It's amazing to me that they haven't found that secret compartment.
Go themselves individually. She has magic where she doesn't look into every individual shelf.
So.
Yes, but like I said, maybe this is part of a bigger plot with the little book that she just got from the secret place that has all these legends and myths that are probably relevant to each of the episodes.
I don't know. We'll see if that book shows up again, but I kind of doubt it.
Never know. Then again, we still need that for that little phoenix bird to show up again.
Yeah. Where's Phoenix?
Although we saw Tank in this episode, I was satisfied that Tank was still alive.
Well, we'll get to that in just a little bit.
Yes. So anyway, Twilight finds the book and finds the legend of the mirror pool. Wouldn't you know it? It's in the book Spike found. Oh, how cliche.
Oh, look, there's also a spell to completely reverse it as well.
Even better! So, what does she do? She ends up going outside and trying to find out which of the Pinkies is the real Pinky and how to get their attention.
Because
there's
a small problem saying that if she can't figure out which one's the real one, then she might end up accidentally sending the real one back to the mirror pool as well.
I think they might have actually done. Anyway, that's just my idea. I think that'd be pretty interesting if they did that. But, so, let's see. She's going around trying to figure out which Pinky's Pinky, and she walks through town with Spike, and Spike's like, I think that one might be the real one. Oh, please, Spike. Pinky hasn't sat in one place that long for the entirety of her life. Which I like that comment, by the way. It was witty.
Here's the thing, is that Pinkie Pie's supposed to be sad at this point in time, but the fact of the matter is that she doesn't have her hair straight like it probably should be. I would have liked it if they had actually done that, and she had gone into like Pinkamena mode.
I think it was more because she was concerned and concerned and worried more than sad.
And by the way, they also had the
that was
pants in the crowd as well.
Yeah, but in Party of One, it was taking her personality to the extreme. Also, you have to remember that. And plus, she was feeling like she was rejected and not wanting to be seen by any pony. It wasn't the case here. The case here was she was just more concerned and worried for her friends. So I'm providing logic. Just thought I'd say that. So, moving onwards and upwards and D. And so, what happens now is we have Pinkie Pie come up with the idea, let's get the Pinkie Pie to test to see which is the real Pinky. Whichever Pinky wants to stay here has to pass this test. The test being a test that Pinky will be so hard for Pinky to pass, though, that she has to put all of her might and will into it in order to stay.
See, the funny part about this is that it should have been all too obvious who the real Pinky was, because it was the one Pinky that wasn't acting like all the other ones and shouting fun every 5 seconds.
You do have to remember this is Twilight we're talking about doing the investigation. Twilight overall is...
We've been over this before. Your viewpoint that she's kind of oblivious is definitely... She's pretty... seen in this episode.
Uh-huh. Plus, she wants to be very thorough about it as well. I mean, what if that wasn't the right Pinky? Because you have a bunch of clones, and she did have a good conversation with the second Pinkie Pie clone, where she's actually able to have a conversation with the second Pinkie Pie, where the other ones were all just screaming fun, but the second one, she was actually able to have a conversation, and they were actually able to talk, so.
I suppose. So, Twilight has Applejack heard all the Pinkie Pies, and bring them all to the library. But at the same time, she also goes and finds the others. This is where Rainbow Dash gets her attention, and I think it's Fluttershy, Rarity, and Applejack that are all in the animal shelter thing or whatever, the tree.
Yes, they are.
And yes, Tank is there. Well, a tortoise is there.
I'm pretty sure it's Tank though.
Well, I mean, he's the only tortoise we've ever seen, so I would assume it's Tank.
We did see that turtle that Pinkie Pie was trying to get the short Fluttershy in the face with in that one episode.
That wasn't a real turtle, though.
It should have been.
Fake turtle.
Anyway.
So anyway, yeah, they heard the Pinkie Pies to the actually, it's not the library, it's the town hall. They get them all in the town hall.
Yeah, Jack and Big Mac and Winona all rustle them up and get them all down there in town hall.
And when they get them all in there, Twilight yells at them, and they all sit down. And then they say, we gathered you all here for a test.
No, she says, do you know why we've gathered you all here? For fun? No, it's just the exact opposite. To take a test. No! I crossed my eyes there. I don't know why.
This is an easy test.
Actually, stare at paint dry.
Yes. Well, the funny thing about this is that I don't know if you've ever read that fanfic, but there was a fanfic that came out a couple months ago called Pinkie Pie Watches Paint Dry.
Huh.
Yes. Granted, that was about her painting the walls in her in her room, and it's a really interesting psychological story, which is kind of interesting. But yes, it's called Pinkie Pie Watches Paint Dry, and I thought of that the second that they came up with the test.
Anyway, so the test commences, and the races are off. Spike is eating his popcorn, watching intently as the Pinkie Pie stare onto the drying wall.
Now, actually, here's where it got kind of weird, because now, if you look, all the Pinkies are sitting in a nice straight row, and when they zoom out to look at all of them, you can actually count them. And there's about 40 of them now. I'm not sure how it went from 13 Pinkie Pies to 40 Pinkie Pies.
Maybe someone back can clone themselves.
Maybe, but it just didn't. I mean, it didn't seem like that they went anywhere. They were, but yeah, it's just kind of weird.
Anyways, we move on. The races have commenced. Applejack and Rainbow Dash and Big Mac sit in the back of the room and stare onwards towards the Pinkie Pie staring at the wall. So there's a lot of staring going on at this exact time. So what happens? One of the Pinkies gets distracted. Ooh, a bird stands outside of the window. Twilight uses her horn and sends the Pinkie away to the pool to be banished forever.
ADHD death.
Yes. So that's the problem with all the Pinkies, though. Is
ADHD, yes.
Yep.
And so, it's actually really interesting to see how the different things they get distracted by, because then they got there's like 3 of them that look at the frog that was turned into an orange. One of the Pinkies grows like fingers out of her hoof, which was kind of weird. But I'm sure Lyra was really happy about it.
Lyra crying when she saw Pinkie do that. That was hilarious.
One of the Pinkies decides to jump up and try to hit the ceiling. There's another one, and this was probably the best part of the episode. One of the Pinkies changed their face to the Generation 3 Pinkie Pie face, which, I mean, that's just Dave Polsky, making fun of the previous generations, which I thought was kind of fun.
So yes, a lot of shooting of Twilight Torn commences, and she blows off the heat from it and the smoke from her horn.
I thought it was kind of funny that her horn can overheat.
And all that's left, yes, of course, the horn would overheat. It makes sense. So all that's left now are two Pinkies. They stare intently at the wall. The one closest to the wall looks a bit worried. Concern is on her face. And Rainbow Dash gets bored, and she face hoofs or whatever, and then she says, "Look, some ponies making balloon animals." And the first Pinky towards the front is sort of nervously trying to glance back and forth, and she just decides to go, "Where?" And she gets shot away by Twilight, which I was a bit concerned at first, because I thought that could have been the real Pinky. But, so we have one Pinky left, and Twilight says, "You can stop now, or else I'll shoot you." That would have been kind of funny, though. So we have one Pinky left, and we are assuming that it is the real Pinky, because she was all concerned for her friends and what she did. So...
Well, yeah, the other ones didn't seem to get the names right of any of the ponies either, so, I mean, you kind of assumed that the real would be the one that knows all their names.
Yeah. She taught them all their names, or a few of their names beforehand, and we don't know, and we also have to remember the second clone also knew their names, because Pinky talked with the second clone the most.
Well, yeah, but even the second one got it wrong. We called it Applejaw and Applesauce, Fluttershutter.
Yeah.
You know, so she was getting the names wrong as well, but
Well, you never know. There's still that doubt that maybe she sent the wrong one back. Oh, well. So, basically, that's the end of the episode afterwards.
You said it was Celestia, because they actually have one in this episode. And so I guess they're obviously going to be continuing on with Season 2's idea of now all of them are writing letters, as opposed to just Twilight now.
Yeah.
And so Pinkie Pie sits down and writes her letter saying, yeah, sometimes you have to choose between, you know, who to have fun with and who not to have fun with. And, you know, it's not always an easy decision, but it's something that happens. So that's the lesson that they have in this episode.
Alrighty, so that pretty much ends off the episode. Do you have more thoughts on it?
We close off the secret mirror pool entrance as well.
Uh-huh.
No one can ever clone themselves ever again. Unless with the rock.
To block off the hole.
Yeah.
So what are your overall thoughts on the episode?
Pretty standard for a Pinkie Pie episode. The only thing I thought was kind of interesting was that with the Pinkie Pie episode, you almost expect a song, and I you know, obviously there wasn't one in this episode, but I mean, we got like 3 last episodes, so I'm not too concerned about it right now, and you know, so it's one thing I have a problem with, but other than that, I mean, you had a lot of continuity in this episode with Rainbow Dash reading and stuff like that. And I thought the idea of Pinkies, I mean, when you have the idea of too many Pinkie Pies, you almost guarantee that something bad is going to happen. And it's like the Fanon idea that the world would just explode with more than one Pinkie Pie. And
I was hoping that actually happened right when she made all those clones. I was hoping the world would explode and the episode would just end. I would have found that hilarious.
Equestria was this.
Yep. The end.
So, I mean, I'm glad they went with the idea that Pinkie Pies, too many Pinkie Pies is a bad thing.
Uh-huh.
The little, you know, I guess you could call them like cookies or Easter eggs they have in the episode, like the Generation 3 shout out. They've got the new ponies and stuff like that. There was a lot of special things in this episode that were really cool as well. What about you? What did you think?
Overall, I like the episode. Good story. Definitely a great story to go with. I mean, it's always something that's out there for the idea itself of too many Pinkie Pies. I was certain they were going to have something along the lines of an episode like this at some point, because the idea, of course, is something that's very simple. You get a crazy out of control character and you make clones of it. It's like doing a bunch of clones of AR. What the heck would happen? Sort of thing. And overall, the story itself is well done. I enjoyed it. You had a lot of humor because it's a Pinkie Pie episode. You're going to have a lot of humor. I liked a lot of the facial expressions used throughout the episode as well with the different Pinkie Pies and the breaking of the fourth walls everywhere in here as well. You had a lot of, I was going to say puns. I mean, like references to different sorts of cartoons here and there. And ending of it, maybe a little cliche, but still, that's just to be expected from My Little Pony episodes. The ends are always a bit cliche, but still overall it's well done. So yes, I liked it.
Well, I mean, you got Dave Polsky that wrote the episode, and he did Feeling Pinky Kane and Over a Barrel.
Yeah, Feeling Pinky is one of my favorites.
The humor idea is something that he does really well. So.
Uh-huh. That
The
pretty much
scores. What's your score? We go from 1 to 10.
8.5. 8.5 or 9.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with about an 8 as well. So yeah, pretty standard.
Yes.
Good episode.
The watch and review would have been a lot better, but I'm going to be doing that with Delta later.
Yep, a lot later.
Yeah.
You aren't even at season 2 yet.
No, we're not even season 2 yet.
So you've got a lot to go through, but
We got 11 more episodes till we get to season 2, so.
anyway, so that concludes our episode review for this week. Next week we'll be doing episode 4. I believe that one's called One Bad Apple.
Yeah, pretty sure.
All right, that's gonna be cool. Definitely check that out next week. So with that, we'll head into our news segment for this week.
There's news?
There is news. There's a bunch of news and stuff. Let's see here. First of all, Animate Miami is a convention that's going to be happening on the 18th through the 20th in January. Obviously in Miami. Imagine that.
Oh my god.
The news that they have going for it right now is that there's going to be special guests, Peter New, Andrew Lemon, and Nicole Oliver, and they're all going to be attending that convention as well. I'm not 100% sure who or what exactly the convention is for. Like, I mean, it's like, is it for a whole bunch of different cartoons? If it's called Animate Miami, I would think that it's for a bunch of different cartoons, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. They do have a website, so if you're in the Miami area and are free for the 18th through the 20th in January, you can go and to their website and hit up their page for tickets. More information on that is in the show notes.
Yes, and if you're lucky, you will not see me because I live nowhere near Miami.
You live on the other side of the country.
Yes, I do. So, what is next? Oh, it looks like iTunes is moving to volumes and the pony price has changed. That is for those of you who get your episodes off of iTunes. It looks like some modifications have been going on. You have the Friendship is Magic now listed in 13 episodes and 13 episode volumes. So it's like 1 through 2, volume 1 is episodes 1 through 13, and volume 2 is episodes 14 to 26 for season 1. Then like season 2 is volumes 3 and 4. You have episode 1 through 13 again like that. And the 5th volume will be season 3, of course, because it is entirely 13 episodes. So it's a bit of a change with there, but there's also some prices that have changed as well. I believe this is good news as well. According to this, the price has gone up. The price has gone up overall. If you were to purchase all of season 2, which was $49.99 HD, for example, you could expect to pay an extra $10 than you previously would at the new price of $30 per half. So yeah, yeah. So the pricing isn't good either. I think it's gone up actually. Which overall tends not to be a good thing. But yeah, so go check out iTunes. You can find that down in the show notes. A bit more information about this overall price change and the volume thing going on. So check that out.
And up next, we got a new poll that has come in from TV Guide. TV Guide put up voting for which TV show has the best fans, and My Little Pony is in the running for this. They got My Little Pony, NCIS, Once Upon a Time in Roswell, and I'm not even sure how big of a fandom those shows have. I mean, I know NCIS is pretty big, but I mean, Once Upon a Time in Roswell, at least I haven't heard of any kind of huge fandom for those shows. But yeah, with the link in the show notes, you can check that out and go and vote for My Little Pony so that we can win yet another award. So check that out with the link in the show notes.
Don't forget to vote for AR Delta. Wait, no, we're not on TV yet. So.
And
yeah. So, now we're going to be moving on to the convention compilation on Equestria Daily, which consists of 6 conventions going to be going on here soon, most of which are consisting in 2013, early or late. We have the Sweet Apple Acres Convention, which will be hosting in Nashville, Tennessee, July 12th and 14th in 2013, I believe it is. Yes, that is correct. I'm pretty sure. Let's see, what else is there? You have the Brony Fest 2013. Brony Fest will be being hosted in Texas, Louisville, Texas, to be precise, just located above Texas. It is in Texas. Located just above Dallas, Texas. March 29th to the 31st, if you have time next season. Year. See, well, technically season, considering it's winter than spring. Moving on. So, we have another, convention located down in Australia. Now, if you're down in the Down Under, that's not an accent. Moving on. If you're down in the Down Under, you can go ahead and go to the PonyCon AU. They are accepting exhibitors right now. They will be in April 6th and 7th, 2013. We're at I am not sure. It's in Australia. Yeah. So go ahead and check that. You can find that down in the show notes, of course. You have the PHP PonyCon 2013 as well. I am not sure where this one is going to be held at. There's not much saying where it's going to be held at as of now. Wait. Yeah, I can't find much on it right now. So I'm going to go ahead and check it out here real quick. It shouldn't take more than a second to find out where it's going to be at. And it's going to be at the Mall of Asia. That doesn't help. It says where. It doesn't have really a place where, actually. Which is quite interesting. There's no real where for this. Oh, Philippines. Sorry. Duh. I knew it. PH Pony, Philippines. I should have guessed it. Alright. So, there's going to be, for those of you in the Philippines, there will be a convention in the Philippines. Which is quite interesting, actually. I didn't really know that. I've been blabbing on a lot. So, you have an official pony convention in Poland called My Little Convent. Whatever. That'll be, let's see. Yes, it will be taking place on the 24th and the 25th of November, I believe. Is it? Yes, it is. So if you're in the area of Recent and in Poland, Draco Player, you can go to this convention on the 24th and 25th of this month. Going down, there is one last convention, the Winter Moon Atlantic. Oh, it got canceled. Sorry for those of you who want to go. This one got canceled. I believe they were having some difficulties with a few different things. Anywho. Yes, there were a few things halting that production, so they went ahead and canceled the Winter Moon Atlantic Convention. Sorry for those of you who live in that area. Of course, you can find out more information from each of these individual conventions, because I am not going to read you all the information. You can find them down in the show notes. I just pointed downwards. Alright, next news thing.
Right, so next thing on the news is that CNET has come up with a article about the brand new game left, My Little Pony game, and of course they're taking on the number one issue with the game, which happens to be the price. The biggest concern that people have been having about this Game Loft Pony game is that the the ridiculous cost of that it costs to unlock these ponies, the gems that you need to unlock them, can be earned through just actually playing the game, but it would take a ridiculous amount of time to earn up those gems, so it's almost required of you to buy these gems.
It's probably why the game's free in the first place.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that helps, but the problem is that for specifically the main 6, it was something like 650 gems that you needed when that costs that's like $60 or something.
That's great.
To get all the gems for that. And it was
I'm glad I don't have a tablet or smartphone.
but it says you can either pay the money or play the game for 3 years in order to get up to the amount of gems you need. So it's like, the game was a great idea, and I think it had a lot of good things about it as well. I didn't actually get it because I don't have an iPad or an Android phone, but apparently the only problem is that there's just way too much cost involved in it because there's these gems are just way too hard to get. Mm-hmm. But people have apparently already beaten the game. I think all you have to do to beat it is just get all the main 6 in Ponyville. So people have gotten to that point in the game and have posted screenshots of all 6 of them together. So definitely go check that out. There's more information, and you can read the article from CNET with the link in the show notes.
Yes. So, one last little piece of news for you guys before we head into the videos and music is that there are some Friendship is Magic books on the way. The My Little Pony Facebook has tossed up a few things about it. So right here it says, we've teamed up with Little Brown Books for Young Readers. I'm pretty sure that's a company. On a line of pony-rific books, including the official guide to My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Books for the fans of all ages will hit store shelves in the spring of 2013. So it really makes you wonder, what are these books going to be about, and what is the guide to Friendship is Magic? Well, we'll all find that out early next year, apparently, within a few months. There's not much detail given on these as of yet, but I'm more than certain we will find out soon. I have a face for radio, that is all. Moving on.
And as always, all of these links can be found in the show notes. And that brings us to the PMTV segment for this week. As always, we'll start with videos. Hot Topic brought out their second Hot Minute video. The first one was Fluttershy, and now they've brought out Rainbow Dash's episode. 60 seconds of her just answering fairly straightforward questions, including one that says that where she actually admits that Applejack might be able to beat her in a race. So that's kind of interesting. But definitely go check that one out. That one's really fun. Secondly, we have the 5th episode of Reharmonized Ponies. This one is called One Whole Pie. Guys, let me just tell you right now, this one. The series really starts getting good around this point in time. This one's really, really, really dark. And so there's art that goes along with it, and just expect a lot of blood and a lot of fighting. So it's definitely not for someone who wants a happy story, but Reharmonized overall is a really, really good story. So if you're a fan of this series, definitely go and check this one out. And apparently episode 6 will be coming out fairly soon as well. So keep an eye out for that one. next thing was a video that someone came out with titled "Too Many Pinkie Pies: The Real Ending." This kind of goes into the alternate scenario where Twilight messed up and sent the wrong Pinkie Pie to the mirror pool, and it's kind of a dark
ending
and
twist.
yeah, and it's kind of strange. You'll have to definitely take a look at that one for yourself. And finally, for the last video, Bogabronis has brought out I think it's the third episode of Know Your Mayor. This one is focusing on Applejack, and of course, they've got the ever annoying announcer that starts to slander Applejack's name.
Woo!
So definitely go and check that one out as well.
90s humor.
You can find links to all these videos with the show notes. Which brings us to the music for this week. A lot of really, really good songs, most of them concerning the Crystal Empire. The first one is called Fight for the Crystal Empire, and it features Cyril the Wolf, and this one's by Bronified. For those of you that are familiar with Bronified's work, he pretty much specializes in metal and
rock.
speed rock. And this one really reminds me of Dragon Force, if you've ever heard of them. The song is very, very reminiscent of them, and it's just really, really awesome. So definitely go and check that one out. The second one we have on the list is called Ballad of the Crystal Empire. This one is by All Lovers at Once, and is a remix of the Crystal Fair song, but not only is it remixed, but he also adds in a couple more verses, makes it a little bit longer, and the song all together is really, really well put together, and I really enjoyed it as well, so definitely check that one out as well. The last song that we have is a remix of Flutter Wonder. The original one was by Pinkie Pie Square, and this is the Sin Gratina remix of the song. Flutter Wonder is pretty much one of Pinkie Pie Square's most famous songs, up there with Sunshine and Celery Stalks, and it focuses on Fluttershy, and it's a really good song, and the remix itself is just makes it even better. So definitely go and check that out. You can find links to all these in the show notes as well.
Yep. So, now that we're all done with music and videos, we get to hear me talk once again. We have a casting call for you guys. There's a Heartwarming Eve chorus, and they need singers. So, those of you with your singing voice, get them warm, because it is getting close to that time of year for Christmas carols and a lot of other stuff coming up. That winter nip is in the air, and the holiday season is around the corner, as always, which I've just sort of repeated myself, but I don't care. It sounds fancy. So, this group is looking for some singers to start a Heartwarming Eve chorus. If you have this great singing voice, please check out the video that we will be providing in the show notes. From what I've seen, it looks pretty interesting, definitely, so please go and check that out. And last but not least, we have a fanfic for you guys. A pretty recent fanfic by actually a friend of ours, which shouldn't make a difference whatsoever. Actually, Lightning hasn't even read it at all. He probably didn't know about it. Actually, I think he did. Anyways, he didn't read it. I have. Very well done story, written by Delta Violet 21, or as we just call him, Delta, on fanfiction. You can go and check out his story in the show notes. Strings of Hearts of Flutter is the title, and the description is pretty short. Waking up to a mysterious world full of ponies isn't what Carlos had in mind. That is pretty much it for the description. It's a human equestrian story, of course. Very well done, I must say, when I finished reading the story. I expected it to be cliche. It wasn't, actually. I was a bit surprised at the twists and turns he involved in the story. A simple little 20-chapter story, around 60,000 words if you have time for it. It is a shipping fic with an OC, Fluttershy, and Rarity. So you get a bit of a love triangle going on here. And also Spike and Sweetie Belle also. But moving on. It's very interesting and well done. So please go and check that out. Once again, everything that we have stated to you is in the show notes. And I believe this concludes stuff.
Yes, that will conclude our episode of the Lightning Round for this week. Thank you all for joining us, and
sorry for each and every one of you.
Next week we'll be doing our review of episode 4, One Bad Apple. It's going to be interesting, and AR will be there again.
I will? Oh no. Please run as fast as you can.
So with that, I'm your host, Lightning.
And I'm AR, a toaster. I'm a toaster.
And we'll see you both next time.
Bye-bye. Wait, both? What?
See you all next time.
Okay, bye.
Some people call me little, some people call me small, but given the chance I'll rise up and stand above them all. Some people put me down, some people kick me around, but believe me when I tell you I'll be the one that rules this town. But they all say no, and they say you can't go, but I won't let them decide who I should be. Colorful rainbows catch my eye when I see you fly across the sky. You're like a drug that comes to mind. You're like a drug that comes to mind. I'll flap my wings and get off of the floor. I'll fly higher than ever before. Wind in my hair as I start to soar. Wind in my hair as I start to soar. Some people call me a chicken, some people say that I can't, but what these people fail to understand is that I'll go out with my friends, hand in hand, our friendship will never end. Hold on, it's quick and nostalgic, as we look back and see that friendship is magic.
Look here, three little ponies, ready to sing for this crowd. Listen up, cause it's our story, we're gonna sing it very loud.
Colorful rainbows catch my eye when I see you fly across the sky. You're like a drug that comes to mind. You're like a drug that comes to mind. I'll flap my wings and get off of the floor. I'll fly higher than ever before. Wind in my hair as I start to soar. Wind in my hair as I start to soar.
I know if you give me the chance. I know if you give me the chance. I know if you give me the chance. I know if you give me the chance.
I'll be the one who stands up tall, the one who rises above them all, the one who gets to be somebody. drug that comes to mind. You're like a drug that comes to mind. I'll flap my wings to get off of the floor. I'll fly higher than ever before. Within my hair as I start to soar. Within my hair as I start to soar. Come for you, first catch my eye. We'll see you fly across the sky. You're like a drug that comes to mind. You're like a drug that comes to mind. I'll flap my wings.